happy, but I'm happy you're done with football.
Oh, my knees are happy. I tell you that.
Oh, so there's three of us. Your two knees and me. We're happy you're done with football.
Yeah, it was time, man. I struggled with it this year. I wanted to play the back half of the season, and I was training to hopefully return to my Jets or somewhere else, and I just couldn't get it going. So
you're the guy that wanted to play for the Jets. We've been looking for you.
Yeah,
you're the guy.
I am the guy.
Yeah. Sam Darnold doesn't want to play.
They're in rebuilding mode. I hate to say tanking. But I think they're being proactive instead of reactive, and I have no problem with that. Listen, fans want it changed. New York want it changed. They're getting it, so they got to go through the process and then deal with it.
You're dealing with the end of your career. Calvin Johnson is dealing with the end, taking a lot of pot shots at the Detroit Lions. He remains in the news complaining about the way he's being treated in the aftermath of his career. What's going on here? What's at the heart of this?
It sounds like a guy who probably feels like he's not being valued. When you think about the Detroit Lions, you always think about the Herman Moores or the Barry Sanders. You hear those guys kind of get talked in God mode. And when you talk about Calvin Johnson, a lot of people feel like he quit, like he kind of tapped. And I think only he knows how he felt, and I think he addressed it. So you can't knock a guy for saying he's done, because I'm from the school. I'd rather a guy be all in mentally and physically than just be doing it just because he's getting paid to do it. That's how you get yourself hurt. So at least I commend him saying, "Hey, I'm done. This is where I leave it."
If I own the Detroit Lions or any team and I've paid a guy $100 million,
right?
Do I also have to kiss his butt and throw rose petals at his feet when he retires every time I see him? Can't I be like, man, you made $100 million and you got out with your health? We didn't win Super Bowls or anything, but...
Well, it should be on you to find out what type of mental mind state he's in. Is he a guy that's invested for the future if you're going to give him that much money? So that they need to do a better job.
No. I'm talking about all these complaints now that he's retired.
Okay.
He feels like he's not being treated with the respect or whatever.
Well, I don't know what respect he's looking for. I mean, he did his job. They paid him. Good riddance. I mean, at the end of the day, he was an amazing receiver. He just didn't win in Detroit. If he feel like winning was, we talk about Barkley all the time, right? What Barkley say? He goes, listen, if I would have known championships would have really, fulfilled my legacy, I would have left a long time ago and maybe joined the super team. If he felt like ultimately him winning a Super Bowl is going to, uplift his legacy, he didn't make that power move. He was being loyal and he got paid for it. That's the name of the game.
I'm going to throw you a curveball. I don't think they prepped you for this. But anyway, A.J. Hawk had a piece in the Players Tribune talking about how hard it is to retire. Again, you're going through the end of your career. A.J. Hawk basically said that his wife threw a surprise retirement party for him.
Did it go well?
Yeah, it went very well. Okay. I mean, he had a lot of his former.
I had one myself, so I get it.
Okay, but his wife threw it. It was a surprise.
My wife threw it.
Okay, good. Yeah. And it was like a way of telling you, you're done. I'm tapping out for you. And so I say Gisele Bundchen is going to tap out for Tom Brady.
What?
And that's what she's doing. Yes.
You think she's going to just throw a surprise party and say, hey, you're retired, Tom?
No.
I hope she talks to the Robert Kraft and Belichick before she throws that type of party.
I'm not suggesting she's throwing a surprise party. I'm saying she is doing things publicly and privately, pushing Tom towards retirement.
What do you think she's doing privately, though, Jason?
Oh, privately, she's telling him flat out.
Like, listen, I think you're done. You need to wrap it up after he just won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think
that's a hard conversation to convince your husband to wrap it up if you just won. And the team they got coming back next year.
She's got more money than Tom, and she's got all the Gisele.
Nothing. That means nothing. In their relationship, at some point, money's money, bro. It is what it is.
She's got more money than Tom. She's got his kids, and not that I'm sure he's involved with his kids. I think she has more power in that relationship than what people would traditionally think. And I think she's using that power to push this dude to retirement because it's like, you won 5 Super Bowls. This year they gift wrapped you a team that you should win your 6th.
Correct.
Enough is enough. Come home healthy and able to be with me and these kids for the next 25, 30 years.
I understand where you go with it. It was tough for me. It was right around Thanksgiving when I couldn't get out the bed. And my wife had watched me train all year round. I went to Germany, got the shots. I did everything I needed to do to try to
you got the Kobe shots.
I got everything, and it just wasn't working. And I got out the bed Thanksgiving. She looked at me. She was just like, what are we doing? Because at that point, you're right. Your wife does have it. Because the fighter in me, the competitor in me, will never quit. If anybody knows, years on one leg, grinding it out. Years on one leg, grinding it out. But that's me. That's my own personal story. So that's the hardest obstacle to overcome, to get out your way.
A lot of guys made the Pro Bowl off you that year.
Well, right, and I support that, right. And at the end of the day,
that was a joke, Willie.
I know it was, but it was a bad joke. It was another thing for me to kind of walk around and say, you know, it took her to kind of talk to me, like you said, for me to kind of look at my own mortality, because I was putting myself at risk. So but it's a hard conversation to have. I don't think Tom's having that conversation.
Christine, since you jump right in the middle of this, how are you telling me that Gisele doesn't have the power and the smarts and the intellect to execute a strategy? I'm not talking about throwing a party. I think she's executing a strategy to put pressure on Tom to retire. I think it's appropriate. I think women do it all the time, and spouses do it all the time. When they want things done, they know how to manipulate things to get that.
Listen to the words that you're using, the power and the manipulation. She's got this ulterior motive that's not in the best interest of her husband. What I'm saying is she probably does have the best interest of her husband in mind. Why wouldn't she?
I'm going to say
You're nodding yes, thank you.
I'm going to say this, and it might.
I mean, that's what wives do. It's all about the family.
Yes, and that's what it should be.
It's not.
Guys,
there's no motive behind it.
I may get in trouble for saying this, but your man's just left, and I wish he was still here. Because he would sit here and say, you know how to execute your power and leverage and to manipulate him. And I don't mean that negatively. Because people manipulate each other positively and negatively.
What is she going to get from telling Tom to hang it up? When you want your husband to be happy, aren't you worried about his legacy? If he's still, listen, he's in the best shape of his life. He takes care of himself. He's not reckless. He does a great job there and be like, all right.
Because you want him healthy.
There and be like, all right.
Because you want him healthy.
He's healthy now.
Did you not hear her talk about the concussions and the things he's been dealing with behind the scenes?
You know how many ball players go through that? At some point, it's on Tom. Like, listen, I got this, baby. I'm doing whatever I need to do to be successful on the field, and I'm okay. You got to let him live. That's on him.
Don't run from this. And you either. Because you manipulate and leverage your wife, and you manipulate and leverage the person you're in a relationship with. This is what people do. We don't have to say it's negative.
When you say those words, you make it seem like there's what's the end game for that?
Right.
Like
getting what you want. That's
what does she want? She doesn't need anything. What does she need?
Manipulation just has a bad connotation. Like the word is negative.
Right.
And I see what you're saying. Like you try to figure things out to get what you want, but it's not a bad manipulation.
What is she going to get?
That's what my point is.
What is going to happen once Tom retires? He's going to be unhappy because he's going to feel forced. You want Tom to leave on his own account?
I just love the naivety of this whole conversation. I'm the only person over here keeping it real.
You're the only person keeping it real.
You're married.
I am married.
And you're here pretending like every day's about being happy. Marriage ain't about every day being happy. You make a lot of decisions that don't make you happy to preserve that marriage.
No, I'm happy because we got mutual respect and we love each other and we're a God-fearing couple. That's what makes us happy. Me pretending to be happy has nothing to do with football or the powers to be. It's called communication. That's how we communicate.
Yes.
So let's keep it 100 on that.
Is everything.
Let me tell you something.
I love what you just said.
Look,
I love it.
You're not married.
You're speechless.
You're not married.
No, because Jason plays this evil villain role, and when the cameras come off, he be like, "Good job, Willie, my dog." And I'm like, "Nah, homie, we here on Fox. Keep it 100. You painting this evil picture in front of everybody. We're not doing it, Jason. We're not doing it.
I'm trying to keep it real.
You trying to stir trouble with Tom and his wife." The man's a Super Bowl winner. She's the most beautiful girl in the world. They got beautiful kids. They're multimillionaires. There's no trouble in paradise. So don't make up one.
Look, I'm 50 years old.
Amen to you.
I'm trying to keep it real for young people like Christine.
You're not keeping it real by saying
no.
You're not. For a young person like yourself, when they go into these relationships, they have reasonable expectations. You said, I don't make any decisions that marriage.
It's called sacrifice. It's called teamwork.
And Tom Brady is going to step away from football to make his wife happy. He won't be happy about it, but she's done with football. This is it.
And there's a lot of wives who are done with their husbands playing football. But ultimately, if him being on the field makes them happy and he's safe, they're going to make that sacrifice to make sure their husband is happy. That's called a relationship. There's some things you don't like in relationships. What makes it work?
You don't think
what makes it work?
You don't think those women and those wives are making a lot of sacrifices for their husband?
I certainly think they are.
Thank you.
Like every day, I've talked to a lot of those wives. It is not easy to have your husband playing football.
And that's why they put their foot down. No, I'm happy is what I am.
Hey, you ain't happy. You spend that money at happy places. There's a difference, homie. You ain't happy. You go to places that make you happy.
What's the difference, Willie?
No, there's a difference. I'm happy on the couch next to my family and my wife. Don't sit out here.
I done broke out in a sweat.
Oh, man.
I broke out in a sweat. Look, don't
you
go.
just
Don't.
kept it the most real I think it's ever been on the
You
show.
have to, because I know him. And we
gotta go to break. We're coming back though, because I'm not done with this conversation.
I'm here.
I know there's some people out there